All right, so welcome back. Wanted to do another comparison between the iPhone 15 Pro photos and the DSLR photos. This time, we're doing it indoors. So outdoors, I think the iPhone had a huge advantage just because of all the computational photography going on and just all that sunlight. Like it was perfect lighting. So what happens when we take that away and we decide to go indoors with limited lighting and do the comparison that way? So what we have here, this is a night mode image. So this is the 12 megapixel image shot with the 1.5x lens. So that's a 35 millimeter on the iPhone, right? And then we have a 24 megapixel non-night mode image because you can't take a night mode image above that. That's a higher quality than the 12 megapixel. It will always go to 12 megapixel when you try to shoot a night mode image. So this is a normal 24 megapixel 1.5x 35 millimeter image, just taken straight off the iPhone. And then lastly, we have our raw image from the DSLR. These are all raw images, by the way. Just the iPhone say DNG and the DSLR, Canon DSLR says CR2. So this last image, what I did, I set the camera to manual mode. I locked my ISO at 100, the lowest setting it has, and I decided the exposure based on the light meter to be 8 seconds. So for 8 full seconds, the shutter is wide open, allowing all the light in for as long as it needs to, and give me an image. So let's look at these. Here is that night mode image. So this is the closest thing I could get to that long exposure type image, right? I'm going to zoom in and we're going to go ahead and compare to our DSLR image on the right. And yeah, it's a 12 megapixel image, but you can still probably see a huge difference in quality. And even though that iPhone, did its thing with computational photography to sort of clean up that image, because let's look at the 24 megapixel and you'll really see the difference. So yeah, right here is the night mode, and right here is the just straight out the camera 1.5x whatever 35 mil shot, just straight off the iPhone, and it doesn't really perform that well in the light. Bottom line. And then compared to the DSLR image, DSLR image is showing up on the left, and the iPhone image without the night mode is showing up on the right. Yeah, it's a huge difference because Apple doesn't really allow you to have the same level of exposure control as you do on a DSLR, and it's really just weird that they haven't allowed us to have that full shutter control yet. If we had full shutter control, then we could probably take similar or better images, honestly. And yeah, I just don't know why they won't let us have just manual shutter. It's just really strange. And that could be because of the iris too, because iris or aperture, the aperture is always locked on these smartphones. And that becomes especially important when you're doing video, because if you want to have that slower shutter, that film look, you may have to close the iris a little bit to compensate, or else it's going to be a way overexposed image, and then you have to put ND filters and lenses on in the front of the camera to compensate for all that extra light coming in. You simply can't do that just stock, So yeah, what it does, I'll show you right here. We'll go to develop. We'll select the this no night mode image or whatever. Go away, GeForce. We'll see if we're at ISO 1600. If we go to our DSLR, I locked that thing on 100, so I can reduce that noise and get that super clean image, albeit at the cost of how long it takes to shoot the image. But I mean, it's only 8 seconds. I could go even crazier and do like a whole minute and close the iris, and everything will be in focus, even though, I mean, everything looks relatively in focus anyway. I don't really have to go that far. That's beside the point. Bottom line, we need some manual shutter control in the iPhone and or some iris control. If they did that and increase the sensor size, I mean, one day we'll get a much significantly larger sensor, maybe some actual iris control, and really it's just as simple as a software update to give us some shutter control. That would be amazing. But yeah, just wanted to do some comparisons, just show y'all what was happening here. Night mode compared to just shooting without night mode kind of helped the image quality in this case. Not as much green. I mean, that's just ridiculous green. I'm honestly kind of impressed with the night mode. But it's still, let's compare it to DSLR image. Whoa. Yeah, DSLR image just runs circles around it. But if that's all you have, then it's not too bad. It just works. But if you got a DSLR, then you'll get better results. All right, thanks for watching.